Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Well, I've been assured it's not my breath or any lingering BO or anything like that, but Potter ain't here now today. We forget sometimes that Mr. Potter is in charge of a weekly newspaper. And as such, it turns out he's apparently in Oakland covering a story or something like that, which apparently trumps being with us. You can take offense if you'd like. I certainly have. I'm sorry to disappoint. It disappoints me because I always look forward to talking to Potter because we laugh so much. And laughter, I love laughter. I love it, love it, love it. I don't know what life would be without it. Can you imagine? And the people who do go through life, who are sort of... Do you know people who rarely laugh? Who are like...
Yes.
You do?
Ugh.
There aren't a lot of them, I don't think. At least not in my orbit, because I would probably... put as much distance between me and them as I could, but geez, I mean, to me, if I were to make a list of the top 5 things that make life worth living, humor, laughter is up there, definitely in the top 5. I've never thought of this before, but it's definitely in the top 5. Might even be in the top 3. But I mean, whatever. Anyway, so I guess the mayor has said that flags are supposed to fly at half-staff today.
For Rocco?
For Rocco, the German Shepherd, police dog, who succumbed to his wounds last night. And, it hit the police department really hard. I don't know if I assume this was on the TV news last night. I mean, they treat him truly as one of their own. No bias with the fact that he's a quadruped and they're bipeds. None. So I didn't know mayors could order flags at half-staff. Thought that was just something goodness, but maybe, I don't know, and I'm all for it. I can only see one flag from my perch here, and it is not at half-staff. So those folks didn't get the memo. It just hurts you. I was at a doctor's appointment yesterday, and that's all. I mean, the nurses were talking about. I could hear the doctor was upset about it. It's universal how we respond to these wonderful animals who share our lives. I didn't realize he was 8 years old. That's a pretty good run anyway for a good dog. I mean, for a big dog. I don't mean to. It's just that. Made me feel slightly better. He didn't have a lot of time left anyway, I suspect. A shepherd? I don't know. Oh, gosh. All right. So I got nothing to say about that, really. So I happened to drive by that McDonald's where you can get heroin with your Happy Meals yesterday. And I thought, geez, I wonder if, people are going up to the window and, like, making jokes. Well, I got to tell you, there was a line of cars around the building waiting to go through the drive-through. And I was feeling sorry for whoever was manning the orders, because I don't know what percentage of people would be making some kind of a joke, right? I would not do it, but I can imagine. Caller, hi.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay.
It's
okay.
I just feel that we need to make sure that these police dogs, they don't get to choose to be police dogs. And as much as they enjoy it, they are in danger. And I just think we need to make sure that they have safety vests on. That protect them from being shot and even possibly stabbed, and protect the vital areas of their body. If we're going to ask them to do these jobs for us, we need to make sure that they are properly protected. And to that end, I think we need to pressure
the
governing
police
bodies and police departments
to mandate it,
to provide them with vests. And if we need to raise the money. And
don't they have they don't have vests for these dogs? I thought they did.
Well, some of them do, but not all police departments can afford vests.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Rocco had one on. And
no.
Secondly, I don't know that the vest that he had on was designed to protect him from being stabbed.
Right.
That if he did have a vest on, that it was just for ballistics. So I don't know. I just think that this story has torn me up, and I just think that, like I said, if we're gonna ask them to do this for us and not give them a choice in it, we need to make sure that they're protected as much as possible. I would think that the danger for them is more likely being stabbed than shot.
Really?
Because they come in such close proximity to criminals.
But criminals in this is America. Criminals almost always have guns. They don't necessarily have knives.
Well, I don't know that the kind of criminals that police dogs encounter regularly are the kind of criminals that carry weapons. I think they're more kind of the type of for lack of a better term, professional criminals. I think they're more like this guy was.
I don't know.
Someone that just carries a knife because they're a bad egg, or that they have a drug problem, or something like that, where they're not necessarily the kind of criminal you would think of as carrying a gun. You know what I mean? Do you get my drift on that?
Yeah, but I mean, you're speculating, and I have no way of knowing if what you're suggesting is true or not. I hear you, and I do think that they should definitely have something that covers their vital organs. And that would have protected the animal.
It all just goes back to the fact that we're asking them,
right, and that they have no say, right?
They don't get a choice.
Well, listen. Here's the reality. If they had a choice, they'd do it, because a dog, by his nature, wants to please the human who he's with. A dog, by his nature, will say anything you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one more reason that we should provide them with the vest. They can't let themselves out to go to the bathroom. They can't feed themselves, and they can't purchase a protective vest. So. Yeah. Okay, Lynn. Have a good weekend and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. I believe that was PJ, and he's told us before he's got a lot of dogs himself. No, anyone who's an animal lover, this has ripped their hearts out. It's true. But, caller? Hello? Hi? Hello, caller?
Yeah, I'll make this real quick, this comment. The more I listen to you talk about this story, I'll go a little bit further to say we shouldn't even do that to the animals. We do the same thing to the dolphins. We do the same thing to the killer whales. We do the horse races. And I understand this is protecting the police, but with all the modern technology, we can't come up with something better. I don't understand it. I think if we can phase that off sometime in the future, we'd be better off. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. But my understanding is that these dogs are trained to do things that that they do better than any other thing we have. Rocco was an expert, God bless him, in 2 areas. I think he was used. They're trained in certain, and they have certain expertise as. I can remember one of Rocco's. I'm blanking on the second. One might have been drug related, but the other was. He was trained to sniff out, I believe, guns. I believe. I mean, these animals do. I mean, think of the animals in the military. Think of these dogs that are actually in combat. And some of them do end up suffering not only grievous injury and or death, but they also suffer psychological damage and post-traumatic stress. And I know there have been cases of dogs at war who have essentially said, "I can't do it anymore." They just won't. But by then they're ruined. I mean, they're like quivering and terrified and jump at the slightest sound. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about my feelings about that. Animals, dogs got the moniker "man's best friend" for a reason, and as such, I guess they have. As I said, I think if asked, they would say, "Anything you want, we'll do anything you want," because that's why we love dogs. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Like, that's all they want. That's why you don't have, cats on such duties. Cats would say, "Are you kidding me?" Okay. Missed the first 5 minutes of the show. Where's Potter? Looks like everyone but Susan bagged you this week. That's how I'm feeling. Yeah, he bagged me too. Sokolowski's indisposed. He gets a pass. Potter. And Potter, he has his job. I mean, sometimes he has to do. So that's it. I rely on the kindness of strangers to see me through the week, and if they're not here, I just do my best. I do. Okay. Oh, on the animal front again. Oh, every time I start saying someone, hello, caller.
Hi there.
Hi.
Did you get my emails about Lynn Cullen?
About Lynn Cullen?
Yes, the author.
I know about her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, people confuse you with her also.
Yes, I know that because I have some people who follow me on Twitter who think they're following her.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But people contact her thinking they're contacting you.
Me. And I think I've said this before. I once tried to get in touch with her, but she was not interested.
Well, I sent an email to her Facebook account, and she responded back.
And what'd she say?
She says that I told her you got credit for books you never wrote, and she says people confuse you with her also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all you have to do is Google Lynn Cullen and see that, I think I'm usually on top in the Google category, but this new book of hers, Mrs. Poe, has made her a hot commodity lately.
I gave her your email address and told her to contact you. But
well, that was very sweet of you, but I don't think she will.
I don't think so either.
No, I tried once to do that, but I think it's funny to think of all these people that are following me because they think it's her, and then on Twitter, and then wondering about what I'm tweeting about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it has nothing to do with books or the things that she's interested in or that they'd be interested in. So, yeah, I do know. And years and years and years and years ago, I tried to get in touch with her, and she was not interested.
Okay.
Well, I guess we could always make another stab at it, but you know, I'm not one to pursue if I suffer a rejection.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See, I wanted to ask Potter about Luke starting his business. Ravco or Raveco.
What?
Yeah, Luke Ravenstahl, our former mayor, has started a business, a consulting business. I never know what that means. I think people who can't figure out what to do become consultants. I don't. I should bite my tongue. I'll become one soon enough. So he's has a business consulting firm catering to clients in the oil and gas industry. So Luke's trying to jump on the fracking gravy train here in some manner. And he's right now his business address is his home. So this is very much something that's just beginning and on paper, and I have no reason to wish him ill. He's 33 years old. He's got a kid. He's got a life ahead of him, and he's got to find some means of support. So it ain't easy in this day and age, and he's got some baggage. As you know, he has some baggage. Laura writes, I love the Scarlett O'Hara accent you did a minute ago. I did?
What?
What?
I
Did it? What? I don't know.
I'm not sure what that means.
Laura, I don't even know when I did it or what it was I did. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth, so I don't know. But Laura wanted to assure me that I can carry on all by myself just fine, and she says, well, guests are interesting. You are all by yourself interesting as well. Hi, Jess. That's from Laura in Ann Arbor.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura. Do you believe how warm it is today? Oh, my God. I was on the bus today, and I was sweating. They had the heat going full blast, and you're sitting in there packed with other people. I was thinking, God, stop it. Turn the AC on. And then you go outside, and it's like, why am I bothering with this winter coat? It's balmy. It's 34. And then you see how, that's why it's good to have these cold blasts. Because then the rest of the winter, if it becomes normal again, is a piece of cake. Easy. Nothing to it. What else? Speaking of animals, that's what I wanted to tell you. Speaking of animals, so Jess is all excited. Why don't I have it here? I wrote it down. About the Kitten Bowl. Okay, so yeah, Super Bowl's coming up. I am already sick of it. I don't even want to, you know what? I don't even feel like watching it. Now, of course, if the Steelers or the Packers were in, I have a different point of view. But I just, oh, God, I'm sick of it. Anyway, so there's all kinds of other bowls on TV, and the Puppy Bowl was the first one. Well, Jess, I'm just telling people, if you've never seen it, turn it in. If there's nothing you like better than looking at cute, furry little things, kittens or puppies, you could die looking at these cuties. And Animal Planet is the one that does the Puppy Bowl, and that'll be airing from 3 to 5. Okay?
Kitten Bowl on at noon.
Kitten Bowl, on the other hand. And this is a first-time thing. The Kitten Bowl, by the way, has a local connection. It is going to be on the Hallmark channel from noon to 3, and then it's going to repeat. So it'll be on all from noon all the way to midnight. They're just going to repeat the show. So anytime you go to the Hallmark channel, you can see the little Kitten Bowl. And the person behind that is Beth Stern. It says here right in the paper, hosted by Beth Stern, who grew up in Natrona Heights and Fox Chapel. I can't believe Rob Owen didn't add, like that she's Howard Stern's wife. Yeah, she's Howard Stern's wife. Why wouldn't he add that? I mean, he's sort of a big celebrity, and maybe people don't know that he married a local girl. And I know Sally Wiggin is very friendly with her, and Sally says she's just the greatest, that she's bright and wonderful and blah, 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 blah. And anyway, Stern, Howard, and his lovely wife, Beth, from Fox Chapel, are real animal lovers. And I think they've got like some ridiculous number of cats at their house that I think they do some rehabilitation or something. Anyway, so the Kitten Bowl's on from noon to 3, the Puppy Bowl's on from 3 to 5, and the Fish Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, is on from 6 to 10 on National Geographic Wild. And the Fish Bowl, that's really going up against the Super Bowl. So I don't know if anyone's going to watch the Fish Bowl. And even if it wasn't going up against the Super Bowl, I don't know anybody would be watching it, because the Fish Bowl will feature a goldfish named Goldie who will swim around in her bowl for 4 hours. And you can watch that. There is also something called a toilet bowl, but we won't get into that. Oh, God, I just don't care. I don't care anymore. I'll tell you what. Gonna take the break. Right on time. I don't need Potter saying, check the time out. I don't need Potter. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Stick around for more with Lynn Cullen Live after this.
Download the brand new CP Haps app on your phone and find out what's going on in Pittsburgh. It's the fun and free app that puts the most popular events at your fingertips. Text events to 77948 to download now and register twin tickets to see Billy Joel at the Consol Energy Center February 21st. Plus lots of great free stuff. The CP Haps app, brought to you by Pittsburgh City Paper.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation. And we're smack dab in the middle of our dance-a-thon to fight arthritis pain. Me, I've been grooving for 10 hours straight, baby, but I'm a boogie machine. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org. Then meet me on the dance floor. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Once again, here's Lynn Cullen.
All righty, I don't really know what I have to say. There's this letter to the editor in the Post-Gazette today, from Nick in Brentwood. And I understand his point, but I'll read you his letter. He happened to watch the History Channel, and they were doing a series on the men who built America. Nothing about the women, I see. Anyway, apparently they had something on Henry Clay Frick, one of our own. And he said this: after watching the History Channel and the episode, I am convinced the name Frick Park needs a makeover. Henry Clay Frick was a ruthless maniac who called in the Pinkerton Guards to kill strikers in Homestead. He kept wages low and hours long for the sake of becoming wealthier. Do we really want a park named after this type of person? Why not name it after a person who truly did good for the people of Pittsburgh and the world? The person I have in mind is Jonas Salk, the man who virtually eliminated polio. He would be much more worthy of having a park named after him. This may seem silly, but think about it. Okay, Nick, I'm thinking about it, and you're absolutely right. However, here's the problem. Unless I am misinformed, the reason it's called Frick Park is that was his land. Frick Park was owned by Frick. And I think I don't know if he gave some of it to the city as a park. Then I think his daughter after him gave more. And the least we can do for this ruthless robber baron giving us and generations and generations and generations to come this glorious park in the middle of our city is to allow him to have the name Frick on it simply because we wouldn't have the land if he hadn't given it to us, or she, the daughter. I'm not sure which one. And if I'm incorrect about that, somebody tell me, but I don't think I am. It's the same reason that Shenley Park is Shenley, and I believe that was a gift from Mary Shenley. As far as I know, Jonas Salk didn't give us any land, so there's no Salk Park. I think that's how it happens. And I agree that historically Henry Clay Frick is not, worthy of us, honoring him. He was, however, and I'll say this in his defense, this town is replete with, this country is replete with things with the name Carnegie on them, right? And Frick was Carnegie's bad cop. Frick, when he was overseeing the Homestead strike, and the Pinkertons were called in, was doing Carnegie's bidding. Carnegie left him in charge, knowing full well what he was expected to do. So this was the way these robber barons of the era did business. And you can argue that their lack of regard for their workers was really no different than the lack of regard I see evidenced by many employers in this country today. There's a whole lot of Americans who would argue that the people that they work and labor for not only don't appreciate their labors, but stiff them, underpay them, undercut them. Maybe they don't kill them, but in some cases they even do that. Lack of, safety equipment, whatever, this kind of thing. So, Frick, Carnegie, this is not, black and white stuff. They did build a lot of stuff and created a lot of wealth, much of which they kept, but much of which, and we see it especially with Carnegie, they gave away for the public good, whether it was guilt, whether it was genuine effort to do the right thing or buy one's way into heaven. I don't have a clue. But this is their mixed legacy, I think. So it's not a matter of honoring Frick. It's the whole, that glorious, wild, wondrous park that I spend a lot of time in myself would not be there for us to play in and frolic in and picnic in and sport about in if Frick had not given it to us. So the least he can have is his name on the damn thing. I don't honor him, but I do appreciate that gift. I once had the most marvelous opportunity, and maybe I've talked about this before, but, because in 35 years babbling, one does say a lot. But when his daughter, why am I blanking on her name? He had these 2 daughters, one of whom died young, and he never really quite recovered from that. The house that you see over on Homewood Avenue, the Frick estate, it was just filled with her portrait. Meanwhile, the older sister, the survivor, whose name I'm blanking on, lived with that sort of younger sister angel, light of her father's life, and also just worshipped her father. And she lived in that house. She lived in that house until her death, well into her 90s. And when I was working at WTAE Television, I used to drive by that house every day and often in the evening on my way to WTAE, which was down Penn Avenue and through Wilkinsburg. And I would often see when she was in residence, and she really came there to live out her final days. When she was in residence, you would see the light on in that big mansion, and I would know she was up there. And I often, as I drove by, wondered about her and what a life she had had. But when she died, it turns out she willed that house and everything in it would become a museum, to honor her father and her parents and all of that, but also to allow, again, us to come in to the home and to see it and see how robber barons lived in those great days. And before they opened the house, I was invited, I think, to go in. And with the archivists that were going through drawer by drawer, closet by closet, and labeling and accounting for every item in that estate, I got to go in and just look through it all myself. I was poking around in his bedroom closet. And you know what was amazing? His clothes were still hanging there. The daughter didn't alter a thing. I opened the medicine cabinet above his sink in the bathroom, and there were pill bottles, vintage pill bottles that were to him, and all. It was just, it really was fascinating to me. In the little house that was her playhouse, the children's playhouse, which is now a gift shop on the premises. It also had a bowling alley, if I'm remembering correctly. And I went in, before it was a gift shop, I went into this little house that she played in. And I opened up, there were a number of chests and things. I opened up a chest, and it was just filled with paper. And I remember specifically, I pulled a piece of paper out, and it was brittle with age, but it was a picture that, you know what, we all maybe have somewhere in our past done the exact same thing. It was a tracing of, it appeared her father's hand, where he put his hand on the paper and she went around finger by finger and made a tracing. And then she put her hand inside and made a tracing of hers and then colored in hers. There it was. It was a kid's thing with her. Very moving, very... So Frick, to me, is somebody I feel strangely like he's very real to me simply because I was in his drawers. And that bed, and that bedroom, is where he recuperated after the Emma Goldman's boyfriend, blanking on his name, Bernstein? No, Berg, failed in his assassination attempt of Frick right down here in the Frick building, where he had gained access to his office and repeatedly shot Frick, but didn't kill him. He survived. Hello, caller.
Alexander Bergman.
Excuse me?
Alexander Bergman.
Bergman. That's right, Bergman. And can you think of Frick's oldest daughter's name?
No. No, I don't know her name. I only know Alexander Bergman because I'm a fellow anarchist.
Okay, well, he would talk about the guy who couldn't shoot straight. I mean, come on. And you know what's amazing? Can you imagine today if somebody tried to assassinate, a major industrialist like that? They would get life, right, or something. Bergman didn't spend all that much time in jail here. He was in jail just down the street too, right? Actually, he tried to kill Frick. He didn't succeed, and he got marched essentially across the street right into the jail because those two buildings face each other. We must have lost the caller. Sorry. Oh, the emailer who said you sounded like Scarlett O'Hara, I think, was mixed up with Blanche Dubois in Streetcar Named Desire, because I mentioned I rely on the kindness of strangers. That's it. That's right. That's Blanche Dubois in Streetcar Named Desire. Played in the movie by Vivian Leigh, and I don't know if she played I don't think she did on stage, but what do I know? Also, I'm sorry. I saw an email here from one of you, and now I can't find it. Lynn, I'm going to see Wicked tonight. I feel very cosmopolitan. However, I believe I will be bored by the music. I know you have acted and probably appreciate musicals. Does that make me a bad person if I simply can't stand songs from musicals? No, it just means you're not gay. I might be totally wrong, and it won't be so grating. Well, why are you going? Now, I don't know this musical. I like musicals from my child. I'm stuck in the 40s, 50s, 60s musicals. Annie Rogers and Hammerstein, Annie Lerner and Lowe, and like Guys and Dolls. I mean, those songs, I know them inside, forward, back, and some of those, the songs are wondrous. I'm not as into the musicals of today. I don't get the music. Like Andrew Lloyd Webber. And I'm a dinosaur. And no, of course it doesn't make you a bad person. Of course it doesn't. But be of a generous heart as you sit there. And you know what? Think of the talent you're observing, because you'll see acting, singing, the music, whether you appreciate it or not. Those are talented people that are presenting it to you. So at least value that and appreciate that. And who knows, you might even find your toes tapping. But I must say that I think people used to walk out of musicals way back when, humming the songs. Because they just stuck. And now, the songs are like patter. They're not what hummable, bull, 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 bull. I don't think. All right, Jess. Jess is sitting there thinking, bull, bull, bull. Okay, think of one.
Defying Gravity from...
Defying Gravity from Wicked? I don't know what it is. I've never seen Wicked.
I've never seen it, but I know that song.
Oh, you know the song. Okay. Well, I don't know. And as I say, I'm sort of stuck in the era in which the reason I know all those songs is my father had a marvelous singing voice. And you guys know I don't. But I love to sing. And thank God I could play the piano. And so I always had all of the music from all those musicals. And we would sing, my dad and I, together all the time. So when you sing and you're constantly doing those songs, I mean, you know the lyrics. So I know a lot of Cole Porter and George Gershwin and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think those songs are hard to beat. They are hard to beat, and I don't think they've been beaten by the likes of the current crop of musical theater composers. But as I said, I was of that time, and that's where my memories are and where the power of that music spoke to me. But see, that music still holds. It really does. It really does, I think. It's my opinion. Just my opinion, that's all. I just want to say, thank God. I mean, as screwed up as our justice system is, it is not as screwed up as the Italian system of so-called justice. Every time we are asked to pay attention in any way to what is going on in some judicial context in Italy, you look on with, slack-jawed. I'm talking, of course, about Amanda Knox, the American exchange student or whatever she was, who was found guilty yet again of killing her roommate. This is after she was found guilty once before, then found not guilty, and then she got the hell out of the country. Good idea. Now they've tried her in absentia and found her guilty again. And so the whole idea of double jeopardy obviously doesn't exist in Italian law. I mean, remember all the times Berlusconi, their former prez, was constantly being convicted of all kinds of things. It never meant he went to jail or it stopped him from it, because you just appeal and it goes on, and then you appeal again, or you have another trial, and then that doesn't go your way, and so you appeal again. It's a wonder anything ever ends there. It's like a Dickens novel. It's like Bleak House, which was his novel about how the Kafkaesque nature of the probate court in Dickensian England. I have to take a break. I am channeling all the way from Oakland, Christopher Potter, and he's looking up there and saying, take a break. I shall, and I will return.
More is on the way with Lynn Cullen Live.
BergBargains.com is the best bet for your great Valentine's Day deals. Log on today for exclusive deals from your favorite local restaurants, bars, and shows. Sign up for the weekly email update for your chance to win a $100 gift card from the Squiggly Spa. The all-new BergBargains.com, Pittsburgh's best bargains. BergBargains.com.
Need to get some rest. This is the worst headache ever.
Right arm's all tingly all of a sudden. Must have slept on it last night.
I keep losing my balance. These old bones need some exercise.
Granddaddy, what you just said doesn't even make sense. It sounds like gibberish.
Signs like these could be more than what they seem. They could be a sign of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Sudden trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Have a question or an opinion? Call Lynn Cullen at 412-316-3381 or email lynn at pghcitypaper.com. Now, more with Lynn Cullen Live.
Okay, and now to the late night beat. Apparently, Jon Stewart on his program, The Daily Show, has no sympathy for the folks in Atlanta, Georgia, who were stuck, some of them over 12 hours and overnight, shivering because there was 2 inches of snow on the ground, but lots of ice, we have to admit, and they're just not. Anyway, so Stewart went after him on his show, and I do think it's funny. Although it lacks empathy. Oh no, it cut off again. It's cutting stuff off. He says, this is what happens when the South is confronted by something not specifically mentioned by revelations. We're ready for the horsemen of the apocalypse and the rivers of blood, but Jesus didn't tell us anything about snow tires. Stewart also found it particularly ironic that the mayor of Atlanta at the time, who was pretty much a no-show in terms of his understanding that his city was in a crisis, he was busy because he was being honored at the time as the Georgian of the Year, which I guess John found particularly funny because he said this: who'd he beat out for Georgian of the Year? Paula Dean? And the guy who raped Ned Beatty in Deliverance? Yeah, Ned Beatty, I guess, in Deliverance. You know what? This is typical Yankee nastiness at the expense of Southerners. It is. But as a Yankee of long standing myself, I laugh. Meanwhile, Bill Maher has announced that on his show, he's going to be busily running a bit of a contest with a point to it. His show, The Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. And what he's asking is for people throughout America to write in or in some manner let him know and make the case for the fact that their congressperson is the worst congressperson in the country. Now, obviously, that will take some doing, but he's going to, I guess, pick one. He says they will decide who is the worst, and then he's going to target that congressperson in an effort to deny his or her reelection to Congress. He says he will make visits to that member's district to perform stand-up and generally stir up hostility to him or her and their campaign. So that'll be fun. He's definitely going to go after somebody. I suppose that won't really work, but if we can't have fun with the dissolution of our nation's governing system and the corruption of it, if we can't, again, back to laughter, if all we can do is wring our hands and tear our hair, then it's going to harm us. We do have to be able to at least get some pleasure out of it, it would seem to me. So I'm just saying I'm all for whatever he's doing, and it's too bad that, those of us here are not going to, well, is there anybody over there in Wexford who could, do a job on, what's his name? Starts with an R. Who's that Tea Partier guy who got in from around here? Why am I forgetting names? Yeah, why am I forgetting names? You are old. For some reason, thinking of you, little Ida Miller, singing show tunes back in the day conjures up the image of Mayim Bialik.
Blossom! Love her.
She's on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, but she's Blossom forever.
Blossom. As a young Bette Midler in... Oh, was she?
That's right.
Was she played Bette Midler in Beaches? That was Mayim.
Yes.
Do you know what Mayim means in Hebrew? There's even a song. Mayim, 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 Mayim. Mayim means water. Mayim. So, when I was young, I had a better voice than I have now. I could carry a tune. I even had the gall to audition for a musical theater role, a production of The Music Man at a local college, which puts on extraordinarily good productions. It did back then, and it still does. And I had the nerve to get up there and sing all by myself. And the thing is, I knew enough to know I didn't have a great voice, but I also thought I could do like a Rex Harrison kind of a thing. I could sell a song if it was more about sort of acting and character role. So the song I picked, and you old musical guys will recognize it, is a song from Oklahoma. I think it was from Oklahoma, called I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No. Do you know that song, Jess?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's such a cute song.
Sounds great.
I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go, just when I ought to say nix. When a fella tries to kiss a girl, he ought to give his face a slap. But by the time a fella kisses me, I somehow always want to kiss him back. I can't resist a Romeo in a sombrero and chaps. Soon as I sit on their laps, something inside of me snaps. I can't say no. Well, I didn't get the part. However, oh no, that was for the My Fair Lady. So after it was over, I did get in they let me in the dancing chorus. So I was a dancer. And there was a point when they were directing the play when they said, I need one of the dancers in this ballroom scene to have a line and to do this or that or to pretend to be somebody or other. And the director looked, he said, Lynn, you can. So he remembered me because I'd had the gall to show that I could, emote. And so I got a speaking line. I forget what it was. But, those were the days. What did I know? You grow up in a little place like that. People today are so much more, the singers at a young age, God, they're amazing. They blow me away. If you go to the Kelly Awards here or go to any musical theater that is put on, I know Laura, who's in Ann Arbor, knows that in Ann Arbor there is such amazing theater put out at the high school level. It almost seems professional at times. That's how good. And when I think of the pitiful little things that we did at Green Bay East High School way back then in the 60s, it's laughable. It's not even, and I wonder, did we not have this talent? We probably did, but it was untrained, and then we didn't have the direction, and we didn't have the production, and we didn't have any of it. But I don't know. I wouldn't stand a chance getting into a chorus for the dancers, any of it now. I was telling my mother the other day, I would never have gotten into Northwestern University today. If I were applying today with the transcript I had and with the SAT scores I had, I don't think I'd get into Northwestern University. I just think that they've ratcheted up I don't know. What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I talking about? I don't know. Oh, here's what I do want to talk about. This is what I wanted. I wanted Potter here for this because I wanted his point of view. This is serious. It says here, headline, Senate okays delaying premium rise in flood insurance. Okay, that's not the kind of story most people, it doesn't stop them in their tracks. They think, oh, I got to read that. Well, I do because I have this thing about flood insurance that it's definitely something I do pay attention to. Because private insurers long ago walked away from the market that it doesn't pay to be a flood insurer in. Now, what would those markets be? Let's see. Pick any coastline. Pick a coastline. Pick a hurricane-prone coastline. So Florida and Louisiana and then up the Carolinas and all that, up into New Jersey and keep going. That is where private insurers won't touch it. Why should they? It's an idiot's. You wouldn't do it. You couldn't. The premiums would have to be so sky high that you couldn't sell your product anyway, nor do you even want to. So, what happens when the marketplace, the private sector says, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole? But the demand is there? The government steps in. The government takes on the losing proposition. All right, well, we'll insure your flood-prone oceanfront property. And so the National Flood Insurance Program was established. Now, who funds that? You do. I do. If there's payouts to be made, and you know there will be payouts to be made, because you've noticed, as I have, that every year it just gets worse. The weather, the flooding, the encroachment of the oceans, right? And so, of course, flood insurance premiums should go up. They should go way up. And in fact, they did. Supposedly, flood insurance premiums went into effect last year under a bill that was passed in 2012. However, now, because of lobbying and because of powerful political interests up and down our coast, mostly the eastern and southern seaboards, a bill has now passed the Senate that would delay those rate increases for 4 years. And let me tell you, it sailed through the Senate. Democrats falling all over themselves to vote for it, Republicans voting for it. This is when you see our government not having the courage to deal with reality. Because when those premium increases came out, all hell broke loose. There's over 5 million policyholders who have policies with the federal insurance, flood insurance program. And they started moaning that, you can't do that to us. Why? I not only can't afford it, but I can't sell this house now. Who's going to buy a house that's stuck with these high insurance costs? The real estate industry on the coast were squawking and screaming, how the hell are we going to sell these? And so, of course, they said, okay. Well, here, if you have oceanfront property, I'm sorry, to me, that's your problem. And why the government should bail people out after their house gets destroyed year after year after year after year. Oh, maybe there's a few years in between where it manages to stand through a hurricane season. But again, with the encroachment of the ocean, as we all know. These properties, many of them, there's entire towns, are doomed. Private insurers won't go near it, but we take the sucker's bet and we go in. I'm sorry. There should be incentives to get those people and pull them back, get them out. You shouldn't make it easier for people to stay in places that are simply, I'm sorry, not going to be financially viable because the future doesn't look good. Only an idiot or somebody with a terminal illness is going to buy your property. Senator Robert Menendez, Democrat of New Jersey, who sponsored this measure to hold back this premium increase, said, "It was designed to make sure that we don't drive people out of their homes." Well, I got news for you. We should incentivize getting them out of those homes. We don't want people. If people want to stay in those homes, fine. But I, as a taxpayer, do not want to continue to bail you out. I don't. There's got to be some other program that can be established to get them out. Do you know what I mean? I knew I needed Potter for this one. Laura Wright's great rendition of the song. I love that song. It's from Oklahoma, and Addo Annie sang it. And Laura says she doesn't have a voice either. Her daughter glares at her and claims the artist does not need my help in singing the song. Yeah, I know, but if you gotta sing, you gotta sing. And I sing. I sing all the time. Ask my poor kid. You got a daughter, I got a kid. Yeah. Singing like laughter is one of the things that definitely good for the soul. After my singing, Mike from D.C. writes, somewhere in Pittsburgh, a guy just called his wife and said, "I am not going to see Wicked." No, they got better. No, they don't sound like that. They don't sound like that. Seriously. Okay, I think we're done. I sure hope next week we get some of our regulars back. Just because I miss them, and I know some of you miss them, and who wants to listen to me? See, it comes down to I start singing, and that, as we know, is not necessarily a way to draw an audience. Okay, we are done. Enjoy the Super Bowl. That's the big thing on the agenda. Enjoy the warmer weather. I don't know if it's going to last. And I'll talk at you again on Monday when it will be February. Goodbye, January. Wish we could say we're sorry to see you go.
Have a question or an opinion? Call Lynn Cullen at 412-316. Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.